All right, welcome back to another episode of Bears Film Room. My name is Dave, covered Bears for SM, joined by my good friend Ficky, my co-host, also covered Bears for Sports Mockery. And the show is presented by sportsmockery.com, so get all your latest Chicago sports news over there. And today we have Bears versus Lions preview week 2. I think it's been 5 days since we've been live with you all. We went live right after the loss to the Vikings on Monday Night Football. So we're going to kind of touch base on that maybe a little bit, but not too much during the show because, like I said, like Ben Johnson said, we're on to Detroit and we're trying to win this game. So we are going to go ahead and start this show off with just a report regarding some frustration with Caleb Williams and just the rest of the offense roster. Essentially, it has to do with cadence, and there's been some issues with, obviously, last week or on Monday, there were a lot of pre-snap penalties. And long story short, it's not all on the offensive line, and there's been a little bit of pushback with the cadence when Caleb Williams, and just they have to get that corrected, especially heading into Detroit, where I think they'll use a silent count. But we're going to get into that story here in a minute. Before we do, Ficky, like always, man, how you doing on this Saturday morning?
I'm doing good. I thought the week would suck kind of a little bit more, especially after that loss, but it was really kind of like one day, and then I was like, you know what, forget it. Kind of like Ben Johnson's like, bro, this is week 1. I was kind of getting tired of, like, because it's the Bears, and I understand we've only won one game in the past 333 days, so I get like the doom and gloom, and it's totally fair, but holy cow, I couldn't turn on anything unless it was like people actually digesting film without it being like, this team will never win a game for 10 years, right? And so it kind of pissed me off. And so I'm like, no, fuck it. It's time to move on to Detroit because it's only 1 week. Half of the NFL, everybody, is 0-1. That's how it works. First week, half the teams lose because there were no ties. So all this doom and gloom like the season's over. No. Let's see what this team will look like in October when we're getting to November, right? If we're still losing by then, that's a whole different story. And we've been in that boat before. But I'm not ready to kind of say, this season's over. Oh, Caleb can't learn. There's no room for growth when it's week 1 and a new offense with a new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, new head coach, yada, yada, yada. So to say all of that, I'm actually pumped for this game. I'm excited for this game, and I'm ready to actually beat the hell out of Detroit. So, but how about you? How you doing?
Yeah, same boat. I was sickening. I was sick after that loss. Doing the pod was rough. Of course, always feels good to talk with everybody, get our emotions out there. But watch the film initially. I think it looked really bad just across the board outside that first drive. And then we saw a bunch of other film breakdowns, which were really, really good. Kurt Warner, I think, really comes to mind here. He really kind of opened up my eyes even. And again, Hall of Fame quarterback, I would hope so. So check out his breakdown. I think it's probably the best out there this week. But overall, I didn't watch really any sports. I watched Thursday night, hate watch against the Packers. Of course, they dominated the Commanders.
They look good. I hate to say it.
I know you really said
good.
It. Yeah,
we did. They look pretty good.
FTP still. But
yes,
overall, I think, going into this game, they have a great chance to go to 1-1 in the division. And then, of course, 1-1 overall in the season. And you have 2 winnable games coming up next. So I just wish you could be 1-0 heading into this matchup because now you're going into Detroit. It's going to be a little interesting. But I hope they can get a win because 0-2 sounds like sounds very
it's not good. It's not great. And when you start 0-2, I think your odds of making the playoffs they drop significantly down to 13% or something like that. I may be off on the exact percentage, but it's like low teens. So yeah, it's not a great start. So this is definitely a must-win game. But again, if we kind of break the season up, Dave, again, in those like 4-game chunks, if you start the first 4 games 2-2, right? I don't care how you got the 2 wins, who they're against. Like that's not you still have a good chance to make the playoffs going 500 in your first 4 games, right? You don't have to start 4-0 to make the playoffs. The issue is when you start really bad, obviously 0-4, 1-3, that's where it starts to get concerning. So again, we just need to figure out a way in these next 3 games to win 2 out of 3. Hopefully this is one of them, and then we can kind of get 1 or 2 in the next ones. But I'm not throwing in the towel yet. I know you're not. I get people are upset. We were upset after the game, but when you kind of let the emotions calm down and you kind of look at like we have a lot of football games left, there's definitely places for this team to improve. And I want to say this, not only was it Kurt Warner, like I watched Tim Jenkins, I watched his breakdown. I watched the QB school, his breakdown. A lot of it was like, hey, sure, were there mistakes? There were great plays, yes. A lot of the stuff is fixable though, right? And I want to bring up this stat, and I actually didn't. I saw someone actually tweet this on post this on one of my articles, but it was actually a great kind of call out. So in Caleb Williams' first start in Ben Johnson's offense, he went 21 for 35, which is 60%, 210 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 6 yards per attempt with an 86.6 passer rating. Jared Goff's first start in Ben Johnson's offense. And this is also Jared Goff in what? This would have been year 7 for him, right? And not year 2 for Caleb. 21 for 37, which is 56%. 215 passing yards, about the exact same. 2 touchdowns, the same as Caleb. 1 interception, 1 more. 5.8 yards per attempt, literally spot on, and an 80.3 passer rating, okay? Now, of course, there's a lot of variables on that, like who they were playing, things of that nature, but it kind of shows you the point of a year 7 Jared Goff, who's been to a Super Bowl, put up the same numbers in his first game with Ben Johnson as Caleb Williams did, okay? They're going to have different growth patterns, and it doesn't mean that Caleb is going to end up like Jared Goff. The point is that we shouldn't be surprised of these type of numbers for a first game in a new system for a young quarterback or even a vet like Jared Goff, okay? So I expect that this isn't going to be the ceiling for Caleb Williams statistically. So that's why I'm kind of like, I want people to be a little bit more hopeful because, again, week 1, first game, let's see what they can do and build off this.
Statistically, it wasn't even that bad when you think about it. It's just the way that they melted down at the end. Yeah, I mean, 260 plus, or 260 yards, total yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. I think he only had 2 sacks, 1 he ran out of bounds on. So overall, the statistics, I think, will get better, and they better because the noise is getting loud. And it's going to be way worse if you're 0-2, especially if you lose against Detroit. We're going to get to that preview here in a second, but let me go ahead and I want to talk about some of the frustration that's been boiling over that was reported, Fick, if you don't mind, before we hop into our preview. So this one was actually from CHGO, Adam Johns. He mentioned this just after, I guess, speaking with some of the teammates here. But he did mention that there was some frustration bubbling among teammates about Williams. It isn't for reasons you think, though, attitude or anything like that. Like I mentioned earlier, it's the issue with the pre-snap cadence. For those that don't know, quarterbacks use cadence for several reasons. So communication with teammates, identify defensive looks, adjust plays at the line of scrimmage, keep the defense off balance, and of course, just to kind of get into rhythm, time to snap, and you just get that advantage. So the problem is that cadence involves a lot of information. Quarterbacks must digest quickly. If they don't, mistakes, in most cases, penalties like last week are the result. Chicago was with 4 false starts Monday night. I think 4 of them were I think 3 were in the first half.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson admitted after the game that the cadence issues were to blame. It's been something Williams has struggled with for months. And then this is what Johns reported. It's having an impact on his teammates. The false starts are credited to them, not Williams on the score sheet. Right now, they're all saying the right things. Everyone's execution needs to be better. But if the problems continue and the Bears offense continues to play behind the sticks, I think it's fair to watch or to wonder how some players, particularly those tasked with protecting Williams, deal with the cadence issues. So it is interesting. Young quarterbacks don't use verbal cadences much more in college. So that's going to be always going to be an adjustment. And now it's a brand new offense. But I think it was interesting.
No, definitely interesting. I mean, John Gruden has a clip, which is hilarious. With, I can't remember who it was. It was one of the quarterbacks.
Jackson Dart.
Was it Dart? Yeah, and the clap, because that's all they do in college now. It was funny. I was watching college yesterday, and that's the only thing I could see. It's always that freaking clap. But yeah, I think that's fair. Okay, it's all. There's 2 things that you said, or 2 things in that article from Adam Johns, which I think you're spot on. Okay, it's fair for a first quarterback in this offense, and a young quarterback in a new offense to have cadence issues. Okay, that's gonna happen. That's going to happen to any quarterback across the league, right? They're learning something new. Mistakes are bound. It's also fair to say if they continue that people like, the tackles typically are the ones false starting that are getting called for the flag when it's really not their fault. It's Caleb messing up the cadence, right? They could feel some sort of way. But the big piece of that isn't either of those. The big piece, which I think is also kind of my mantra of how I am with this team now, is if they continue, right? The point is things went wrong. Will they get better? Question mark. Yes or no? I feel, and I think you feel, that they will get better, and we'll see less and less in those as the season continues. That's the difference because we have good head coaching this year. That's the difference that I think those issues will not linger, which will then continue to cost you games down the road. Sorry, go ahead.
I think when it comes to cadence, it is fixable. There's a comment here on YouTube. I don't want to sound the alarm bells, but we've seen this play out before? Yes.
Yes, we have.
So, however, it is game 1 with Ben Johnson. So I do think the pre-snap penalties will get better this week. You're on a silent count, so I just expect it, right, to be a little bit better. You're on the road. It could be difficult, obviously, being in Detroit in that dome, but it just has to get better because it killed drives at times. I would say two of the biggest ones weren't even penalties on the Bears. The phantom hold.
Yep.
With Darnell Wright. And then the hands to face.
Pass interference. Oh,
that one too.
That one too. Yeah.
So 3 hands to the face. I think it was on Dio.
Yep.
I didn't really like that one either, but all 3 of those really killed Chicago outside of just the 4 pre-snap penalties. But cadence is so important. I think Ben Johnson's harped on it for a while since training camp, how they just have to be better with these pre-snap penalties. And I trust Ben Johnson. I really love that clip that we had. Can we bring it up?
Yeah, we can bring it up. Yeah, let's do it.
Let me share this screen real quick because it is quite funny. If you guys have not seen it, we're going to play it here. Let's see.
Let me know when you're ready.
I am ready.
Okay, let's do it. Oh.
So this clip was from Ben Johnson earlier this week. He was asked about Santos, I think, kicking or not kicking it out of the end zone. And it was refreshing to see this type of answer. Again, the Chicago media, I don't know why it's Thursday and we're still talking about this and he still have to answer, but he kind of put that to bed and he just had enough. Here's Ben Johnson on Thursday.
That's about the end game kickoff thing one more time.
Man, can we go on to the next game? I'm still on the
with the new rules, when it doesn't land in the landing zone, it's a dead ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
So theoretically, could you have just kicked it anywhere, just
short,
20 and the clock would have stopped?
Mm-hmm.
Was that considered at all?
Yeah, it was. Yep.
And
listen, last time I'm going to bring up last game, okay?
Yeah.
I got greedy and I wanted the extra 5 yards. That's why we tried to kick it out of the back of the end zone. Simple as that. Okay.
And with I want to ask about the end game.
2 things I love from that clip. All right. The first one is that I love the honesty. We would have never gotten that from Nagy or Eberflus. He said he put a negative connotation on himself and took accountability. He said, I was greedy. We never got that from anyone, right? He is taking the accountability and saying, hey, we potentially may have lost the game, right? We probably shouldn't have been in that position to begin with, but we potentially lost that game because I wanted 5 extra yards. The second thing I love about it is the non-bullshit attitude, because that's how I would be. Why are we talking about that same question that I got grilled on, which was fair after the game? Why are we still talking about it now? It does not change any of the results. Any extra context that I give you in that situation isn't changing any of the opinions about what was done. For example, they asked him about that question post game, right? And asked him about it on Tuesday as well. And he said basically this, right? I'm summarizing. Cairo didn't do what he needed to do, and I made a bad judgment call. Okay. The question is then asked again, which we just shared. And he basically said, I made a bad judgment call. So you got the exact same answer that you got from him on previous 2 pressers. So what's the point in asking? Now, if you're going to ask something and you think there's going to be a different result, like if he was going to be like, yeah, you know what? We looked at it. That's not my fault. Fuck Cairo or something like that. But that's not what's going to happen. So to me, it's a dumb question to try to just get him to talk about it again. I don't know. But what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think Santos, I think he told him, I think Santos and even Hightower, like, he can do it. He can kick it out of the end zone. And now Ben Johnson's having to answer for it. And I believe he wanted those 5 yards. And to get that, you needed to be able to kick it out. And he didn't. And he had to answer to it. So he owned up to it. I love that he's deferring, taking all the blame. That's what leaders do. It's what the head coach is supposed to do. At the end of the day, it falls on him. Just like if, his decision to go for it, who cares what the analytics said? At the end of the day, you're going to get torched if you get it, or if you don't get it. And if you get it, you'll be praised. And that happened a lot in Detroit last year. So, I'm on to Detroit. I think we'll just see. They brought in some kicker competition, at least Jake Moody to the practice squad from the 49ers. That's not great.
No, I'm not excited about that. I'd rather take Cairo over Moody. But I'm sorry.
Overall, though, in regards to the cadence and it becoming an issue with the offense, I don't think it's a big deal. I'm sure the players are upset. I mean, no one wants to get a penalty. No one wants to – you get singled out during the game. And, of course, the fans are pissed off. We're all like, come on. What was it? I think it was Jonah Jackson had 2 last week.
Well, he played played not great anyway, so he has no room to be upset about.
Drew Dahlman a little bit.
He didn't play well either.
Yeah, so it's annoying, and so I understand, but it is way too early to be like, this is going to cause a rift or anything like that. But
no,
I think everyone was pissed off, including from the top to the bottom of the rosters as far as losing that one. I think everyone felt like they were going to win, and they should have. So, but it's on to Minnesota.
It is.
I'm excited about this, or not Minnesota, on to Detroit.
Sorry.
I'm excited about this one because the opportunity. You agreed. I almost threw me off.
I know, because I was already thinking. I was like, of course, Minnesota.
We're going back to Monday night.
Back to back. Yeah, for sure.
But so I get the frustration. We'll move on. Win this week, everything goes away. So,
week by NFL, winning cures all. We say that all the time. We need a shirt with that. Winning cures all. Actually, not clicking. But yes, it's a week by week league. You win, people forget about what you did last week, the week before. You keep winning, it'll cure it all. Problem with us is, like I mentioned, we've only had one win in the past 333 days. Not great. So, but that can all change. We win this week against Detroit, who is still viewed, even though they had, they got stomped by the Packers, still viewed as a good team. That will change everything. But before we get into the preview, Dave, can we go to our ad read and then we'll kick right in? Or do you have any final thoughts on the Minnesota? Muted.
No, I'm done with Minnesota. You said let's get to our first break.
Yep, let's do it. Okay. First off, thank you for watching the BFR podcast, the #1 show for the fans by the fans. If this is your first time here, please like and subscribe, as it just helps our show grow and helps the algorithm get this show out to other awesome, amazing Bear fans like y'all as we're trying to grow this community. If this is your first time, also leave a hashtag New Face Gang in the chat. That's hashtag New Face Gang in the chat, and we'll give you a shout out before the end of the show. And if this is not your first time, this is your second time, you watched over 100 episodes or anything in between, then you are a true OG, and we want to show you some love as well. So please leave a hashtag OG in the chat, and we'll make sure to give you a shout out before the end of the show. Thank y'all for all the support for the #1 show for the fans by the fans, the BFR podcast. Now let's get back to the show.
Absolutely. Vic, before we hop into our predictions, our breakdown for week 2, do we want to get to our voicemails from last week, finish up Monday night? So what we'll do here is, if you aren't familiar, we have a voicemail line we post throughout the game. All you do is you just take your phone, you hit this little red record button, you talk to it, you release it, it sends it directly to us. We play it on the show as long as it's not crazy. You can't get canceled, essentially. You can say a lot. F-bombs are welcome. But in regards to everything else, we'll keep that out. But long story short, we have a lot of voicemails. They're very, very good. And we're going to play them here, and then we're going to get to our breakdown for the rest of the show.
All right, let's do it. We got a good amount. So sorry we didn't play them on the post-game show. It was already like 2 a.m. my time. So.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, let's get to it. Let's start with Zach here. I don't know the exact order of like when they called in. Some are kind of during the game, halftime, and at the end, but we'll play and see where they're at. All right, let's start with Zach.
I understand week 1, Jalen Johnson out, Kyler Gordon out. Offenses are always slower. Brian Flores is a great defensive coordinator. They have people everywhere on that defense. But some of the throws that Caleb missed, some of the decisions that he made are inexcusable. It's year 2. I understand new offense. And again, offenses always start slower. But the throw to DJ Moore, the 2 throws to Kmet, and Kmet bailed him out on one of them. Some of the screen passes were behind players. He's got to get that locked down. The deep ball still seems to be an issue. He missed DJ Moore wide open on the left side of the field later in the game. He's got to figure it out eventually, man.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see that, right? That can, again, week 1. But let's go to Marcus next.
Look, I get being pissed off. I'm pissed off that we lost that game the way we did. A lot of stupid mistakes ended up costing it for us. But y'all, can we stop acting so doom and gloom about Caleb Williams already? Like, Jesus Christ, we at least gave Justin Fields 3 years of playing ass before we gave up on him. So, like, I get that Caleb Williams needs to play better. I'm not saying that he doesn't, but I am also saying it is game 1 of his second year in the league, and this is his first game having an actual, like, competent head coach. So, look, he needs to play better. He has a lot of bad habits he still needs to unlearn that he developed from his first year in the league. So there's still a lot of work to go, like a lot of work to do, long way to go. But I knew this was not going to be a quick turnaround. All right, I watched us last season. I knew for a fact that was not going to be a one-off season, quick turnaround, and suddenly we're winning a Super Bowl. I'm gonna let the regime cook. I'm gonna see what they can do from here, because I guarantee Ben Johnson is way more pissed off about the team's performance tonight than we are. So, yeah, I'm gonna see what they do from here.
Thanks, Marcus. Appreciate it. You can tell
Yeah,
he was recording
appreciate
that,
that
and people were asleep in his house. He was trying to be
Oh, yeah.
possible. Been there. Love that. All right, let's get to Caleb. I think this is our Patreon member. So
First off, I just want to say, fuck my life. I don't know how this consistently is. Being a Bears fan is consistently the worst part of my life. I get all excited, watch my team play, put on the jersey, speed home from work, speed home from doing, studying, whatever it may be. Get all excited. I'm eating my food in front of the TV, and it's just consistent fucking disappointment, bro. And it's so unreal how it's always the same. But I will say, the one thing I have is, because honestly, it's kind of funny at this point how unreal this is. The one thing I'll say is, I don't think anybody is talking about how stupid it was to not kick the ball out of bounds. Not out of the back of the end zone, because we know Cairo's leg isn't that strong. I'm talking about kick the ball out of bounds at like the 15-yard line. Just kick it out of bounds to where they can't get it. Unless, I haven't exactly, with the new kickoff rules, I haven't exactly studied to like know exactly what happens. But if it's the same as it used to be, where the ball goes out at the 40 and there's no chance for a return, what idiot would try and kick it out of the back of the end zone with Cairo's weak leg? It doesn't make sense to me. That right there has me out on Ben Johnson already, and he's got to make his way back in the door. Because honestly, I'm like, the fact that, unless I'm wrong, I could be wrong, but the fact that that happened to me is the most disgusting part about that game, other than the penalties, obviously.
So that's fair, but I want to clarify why that was. He trusted that Cairo could kick the ball out of the end zone, right? Because you'd rather
You got to remember. This is right off the rip.
Yeah.
These guys are just.
No,
Yeah.
For clarification, though, because Ben Johnson did say, hey, kicking out of bounds is an option, which makes sense. But if you think your kicker can kick it out the back of the end zone and he says he can, you got to trust that. But yeah, great call, Caleb. Fantastic. Get to Jerome here.
Yeah.
It's Jerome from Darien. I told you I'd be here regardless, win or lose. I'm not going to be the doom and gloom guy, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a whole shitload of that. But Jesus, that was a rough way to lose a game. It felt like so many Bears games we've seen before where the defense is doing their job and the offense continues to self-destruct. At least this time, it's things that should be correctable because it's false starts and nonsense like that. It's not so much holdings and just a lot of dumb stuff. But geez, man, that was awful. I mean, you start on such a high to end on such a low. Terrible. I also would like to know, where was this attacking offense that came in the last, 3 minutes of the game? Where was that for every drive beyond the first drive of the game? This stuff has to get corrected immediately. Can't sit through a whole season of this. I have confidence that it will, but that was rough. Hope y'all boys have a good night.
Thank you, Jerome.
Love that one. I like the preface on that.
Yeah, I did too. That was a really good one. All right, let's go to Will next.
Yo, it's Will here, Will with the X's, shout out to the BFR pod, shout out to the Discord. The first half was cool, man. The first half was cool. We got what we thought we was gonna get out of Ben Johnson and Caleb. He missed DJ over the middle for that fourth down, but other than that, we've been doing pretty good. The penalties are gonna happen, bro. It's too many. It's so many emotions in this offense with Ben. It's kind of crazy. It's a lot of emotions, but the second half about to start. Just lock in a little bit more, finish, and let's go.
I was like, this one's pretty positive. Thanks, Will. But it's because it's the first.
That one was mid game.
Yeah,
I love it.
Love it. Still,
that
appreciate it,
meme.
Will.
The meme of from Interstellar where it's the bookcase and Matthew
and you're like,
McConaughey's
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Murph. Yeah, love that.
All right,
I
let's
love
get
those
to-
calls.
Yeah, thanks, Will. Appreciate it. Will with the X. That's what I'm going to call you from now on. I love that. All right, Gage, our Patreon member. Let's see what you got.
All right. I know it's going to sound a little sad because really shouldn't be this way, but I'm so freaking excited. We just scored an opening drive touchdown after not doing one all of last year. Bear down. We're going to win this game. We're at least going to get to the wild card. I know it's super early to be saying all this, but bear down. Here we go.
No. Yeah. Sorry, Gage. Bad news. I don't know if you watched the rest of it, but so I think these are going out of order. Yeah. All right. We got Phil here. Oh, I think it's awesome. I love seeing it. We have Phil here, Patreon member, and also in the chat right now. So
Phil has like 4,
right.
I think.
I think so. I think I only picked one because there's so many. And we already had so many. Sorry about that.
I want to
Phil,
know which one we get.
I have no idea. I think I picked the most recent one. I think he sent one in this morning. I didn't get that one in time, but I think I picked the post game one. But we'll see.
It's Phil. It's about time I just own up to this. I'm not going to be long. Shame is a lot less fun than having fun. So, yeah, this game sucks. It's 20-17. Vikings are up by 3. They just got stuffed at midfield on first down, but. Yeah, the way this game is going, the Bears are about to lose, and that's fucking nuts. I don't really have words, guys. I gotta be honest. Like I don't think I have anything to say. I just wanted to get on here and say that we're losing. Since I was on here bragging about winning, I should be on here and saying and own the fact that we're gonna lose, or that it looks like we're gonna lose. I'm sick, man. I'm sick. Later, y'all.
That's like the most deflated one by Phil. Yeah, but that makes sense. You were right, Phil. Well, you're wrong, and then you were right. So thanks for sending that in. Okay, we got 2 more left. We got Tony and then John, but we're gonna go to Tony right now. See what you got.
Hey there. I thought the first half looked pretty solid. Would love to see more scores, obviously, more points be scored. But, it's the first game of the season. Everyone's still learning and stuff. Caleb looks really great, all things considering. We just got to keep going. Obviously, they can't just stop here. That's one of my biggest worries is that they're going to stop during the second half and it's going to choke the game. But, the biggest thing is they got to keep going and not let them come back. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, they did literally everything you were scared of. So sorry, Tony. To the T, they did everything that you didn't want to happen. All right, final one here is John.
For the love of God, stop false starting, please. And Caleb, please hit the open receivers, man. Take your time. Make the throw. Damn.
Nice, short and sweet. Well, appreciate it. That's all the
We were all
voicemails.
thinking that.
Oh, absolutely. Appreciate all the voicemails. That was awesome. Down here, if you ever want to leave a voicemail, you can at any time, right? At speakpipe.com/the BFR podcast. We tweet it out during the show so you guys can give your reactions. Obviously, that's the best time. But if you ever have a thought or a question or something like that, go ahead and shoot us a voicemail. We play all of the voicemails that we can on our show. So we really do appreciate all of y'all that sent in those voicemails from the last game.
Yeah. Usually they are played right after the game. It's just that was a Monday nighter. It was already late, so that's why we got to them on Saturday. But
Correct.
appreciate everyone that sent it in. I want to see more even on Sunday when we get this win. I expect more. I understand not sending one in if we lose. If we win, everyone that's been in here, all 2,000 right now across all social platforms, I expect a voicemail if we win. We need one. So before we hop into our official predictions, let's get to one more break. And then we got some good stuff for you guys.
All right, we're going to get back to the episode real quick, but I had to take a moment to pause and tell you about something awesome that we have cooking up over here at the BFR podcast, and that is our Patreon membership. You can join our Patreon, the BFR Den, where we have a bunch of great exclusive stuff that happens monthly, like monthly giveaways, private Zoom calls, mailbag episodes, and much, much more to come. I mean, we've got tons of features in there. We've got 2 tiers. We have our top tier, which is $10 a month, our Hall of Fame tier. What comes with that, which is very exclusive, is our private Zoom calls with our members. So every month, you're going to get a private Zoom call with me, Dave, and Jack, and we just get to talk about whatever, shoot the shit, football, life. It's a wonderful time. And then if you want to go to the lower level, we have our Rookie Grizzly tier, which is $3 a month. And what that includes is like the private Discords, the monthly giveaways, the free merch, all the events if we have coming up, things like that, access to exclusive merch that's only for our Patreon members, and any other cool features. You'll get that at the $3 level tier. And then with the $10 level tier, you will get the private Zoom call as well. Now, you can join for free. We do post our monthly calendars in there, so you can kind of see what we have going on each month. And we post our episodes there as well. So if you want to join that ongoing community, which we keep building up, please do so at the BFR Den on Patreon. Also, as well, we give a shout out to all of our Patreon members every single episode that we do. So if you join, we'll make sure to show you some love on every episode as well. So again, you can join the BFR Den on Patreon at the BFR Den on Patreon. And we just love the support. You guys are great. Shout out to all our Patreon members, and let's get back to the show. Awesome. I want to say 2 things. First off, also join our Discord. It's free. Also, if you're a Patreon member, there's exclusive stuff in there as well. But we have some cool stuff going on in the Discord right now. We did a fantasy league in the with some of our Discord members where the winners are going to win gift cards to our merch store. And then also with our Patreon members, we have a nice little competition going on, a pick'em league, where we're going to give away monthly winners who are going to win gift cards to our store, and then a season end winner who's going to win some free merch. So a bunch of cool stuff going on in the Discord. Obviously, you can chat with Dave and I. We're in there. A bunch of cool stuff. Chat with the other BFR members in the community because it's a great time. A bunch of fans in there because the BFR podcast is the #1 show for the fans, by the fans. We want to put you guys front and forward because you guys are what makes this show fantastic. And then my second part is, speaking of fans, we had 2 more voicemails come in. They're quick. They're from both our Patreon members, so I want to give them the time, and then we'll move into the pregame. So first one's from Gage, real quick, 6 seconds. Let's see what you got, Gage.
Saying I'm never leaving another voicemail right after the first drive again.
That's funny. No, please, we'll play them. We love to see how the moods change.
I don't care if it's before, middle, first quarter, 5 days after.
Yeah.
Just send them in. Appreciate it, Gage.
I love it. Yeah, appreciate it, Gage. And shout out to you for being a Patreon member. And then also Phil as well. Let's see what he's got.
Here's my game preview. This is Phil. We're going to take Baby Hands Golf. We're going to shove him into a locker. We're going to kick his ass. We're going to tell his hot wife, you don't deserve him, and she's going to leave him. And then we're going to proceed to take the ball away from them at every opportunity we're gonna fucking stuff Monty into a locker as well. He's not a Bear anymore. He's been a Lion for too long. He's fucking done. And then who else? Their fucking linebackers pissed me off. Anzalone, we're gonna stuff him into a locker. And then yeah, we're just gonna stuff a bunch of people into lockers. No, but for real though, the Bears are gonna win. I feel like their Ben Johnson revenge game is gonna turn into a Ben Johnson nightmare game, and they're gonna realize that they have to deal with this motherfucker 2 times a year for the rest of their natural born lives. And yeah, Bears win, man. Bears win 27-21. Let's go.
That is the attitude we need right now. On to Detroit.
Yeah.
Let's stuff some guys in some lockers. That's a big locker, though, fitting about 9
Okay.
people in there. So, but
For
yeah,
sure.
love the voicemail, Phil. Appreciate it.
All right. On to Detroit. Let's get to it. We're going to knock out this game preview over the next 30 minutes or so. Again, hit that like button if you're here in YouTube. Subscribe if you want to hang out, where we go live 2 times a week before the game and, of course, instantly right after. So appreciate everyone that's supported. We are very, very close to 10,000 subscribers.
So close.
And I keep saying it, but thank you guys for that support. Let's get to the game preview, right, Vic? Is that how it
Yeah,
goes?
we're going to go to injuries. We'll have you read over the injuries, and then we'll get to our team overview. So let's start with the Bears injury first and see what we got.
Okay, so Bears injury report. It's a little bit better, so let's not freak out here. Kyler Gordon, we'll start with the bad news. He's out. That is really disappointing. Jade Walker is doubtful. Grady Jarrett, this is a big one. He's questionable with a knee injury. Josh Blackwell, full. He's no game. He's going to play. Actually, everyone I'm going to say here is going to play. So Edwards, TJ Edwards, he is back. Jalen Johnson is back. Roshan Johnson is back. DJ Moore, who got destroyed at the end of the fourth quarter,
Yes.
is not missing any time, which is amazing. So overall, I think the biggest questions here, Kyler Gordon just signed that extension, that huge extension, and we have not seen him with Dennis Allen. That sucks. Grady Jarrett had a really good game, I thought, last week. Hopefully he can go. I have a feeling he's going to play, but fingers crossed there. So not bad at all. Could be a lot worse.
Yeah, we saw what a lot worse was last week. TJ Edwards out, even though Noah Sewell, hats off to him, pass coverage a little iffy, but he played a pretty solid game. And then actually Nashawn Wright did pretty decent other than that PI call, right? So, but it's good to have. Yeah, I know, right? He scored a third of our points. So no, that was a big play. But I will say Jalen Johnson back and TJ Edwards back is huge. Those are two.
I would have loved to have seen Kyler Gordon in the nickel or in the slot, being able to line up with St. Brown. So we'll see what that looks like, and Dennis Allen, what they attack or how they attack that. So let's look at the Detroit Lions. They're missing some people, right?
Yeah, a couple.
Trevor Nowski is out. Did I say that right?
Yeah, I think so.
No, Nosaki. I don't know.
I actually don't know.
Out. Zion Vaki, doubtful. Taylor Decker, questionable. Kirby Joseph, questionable.
So the only ones that really matter on here to me are Taylor Decker, your starting left tackle, right? He's questionable. Some people thought he'd be out. And Kirby Joseph, who's one of the best safeties in the league, at least top 8, I would say. He's questionable, but I would expect that they both play. Yeah, that'd be my guess. When I say questionable, that to me, that in today's NFL, that means you're playing.
Yeah.
Unless some tweak or something comes
Keep an
up.
eye on them tomorrow at noon. We'll see who's ready to go. But both teams are fairly healthy, and Bears are getting some really important players back. Roshan Johnson, that run game. Ben Johnson, he talked about it earlier this week, how they just didn't run the ball enough. And the problem is, I just don't think it was successful. I mean, the Vikings defensive line was stuffing a lot.
Well, last year they were top. I think they were second best run defense in the NFL, and they got
Vikings
better.
Defense is nasty. I'm telling you,
100%.
They're going to be very, very good. And what the Bears were able to do. What the Bears were able to do, they left some points out there on the as well. I thought was pretty impressive, especially for being week 1. So we'll see. But
yeah, they have probably one of the best front sevens in the league, and their defensive line. But they got Hargrave, who was killed our interior defensive line. I think he was one of the best defensive tackles that graded out week 1. So yeah, they've got a good freaking defense. So, well, let's get
to our game overview.
Yeah, let's get to Detroit. So Team overview. Let's look at the footballs as we all love. I'm sure it won't be that bad. And it actually isn't. Surprisingly, this is not what we normally see. I'm pretty sure last year it was probably like 27 footballs to like 8 or something like that. But what you do see here, if we're looking at the Bears' perspective, is that shiny point, or the one like silver lining in all of this, is that our blocking was actually pretty decent, right? Caleb had time to throw. He only got sacked twice. There were some issues with interior pressure, but overall, I think they graded out like 18th or 19th in the NFL. And let's be real, that's a big leap from last season. Last season, we would have been 27th, 28th, or last week by week. So we're going against a less formidable front with Detroit. So I wonder how that's going to grade out. Our defense kind of stayed the same on that side of the ball. Pass rush, hey, shout out to Dio. We talked about that. He looked good. Montez probably needs to step up more. Javon Dexter had a good game. Grady Jarrett looked decent for what he's worth. So overall defense kind of the same. When we're looking at Detroit, though, their offense, we're normally used to seeing this thing full, and that's obviously thanks to Ben Johnson. It's also week 1, so we'll see how this plays out. It's only 1 week of data here, but their passing game was not that great. Their rushing game, just like the Bears, abysmal. Monty and Gibbs, I think, only ran for like a total of 46 yards. That's not great. They kept Goff on his feet for the most part, so blocking is pretty decent, and their defense kind of stayed around where they have been. They've got players back, so I expect them to play better this season. But anything on there that really stands out to you? I mean, it's kind of a tale that we all know. It's only 1 week of data, but it's like both teams' offenses underperformed and their defenses looked somewhat okay, right?
Yeah. Let's get to the odds. I think that actually will tell us a little bit more about these teams. Obviously, you're in Detroit, so gonna lean a bit towards the Lions anyhow. But I thought it was interesting. Vic, you want to go over this?
Yeah, let's do it. So the spread right now, depending on what sportsbook you're looking at, is going to be like 5.5 to 6.5 points. The over-under, pretty high here, 46.5 points. And the money line is obviously favoring Detroit with a plus 230 if you pick Chicago as your money line. Any of these stand out to you, Dave? Are there any you would want to bet on if you were going to bet?
Yeah, I'm taking Chicago here.
Plus 230?
I really think. Yeah, I think that's the Bears or the Lions are favored by almost a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Am I reading that right? That just seems like a lot, considering that the Packers destroy them. They have new OC, new DC, and I understand the Bears are coming off a tough loss, but they played the Vikings, who are going to probably be, if JJ McCarthy could be more of that fourth quarter type quarterback, or even just like a little bit more consistent. It's a tough team. So I just think the Bears have a really good shot here of kind of shocking, pulling one out against the Lions. We'll get to our predictions, our score predictions later. So I wouldn't bet on this game, but if you did, I would maybe throw a little bit towards the Bears because you could win a decent amount. You drop, throw 20 on money line. You feel good about that maybe.
If any of them hit, I'm probably going to plus 6.5, and you might see that based off score predictions that are coming up. But I feel like it's going to be closer than what. Well, let's put it this way:
6.5 is
most
crazy.
Bears, no matter who the quarterback's been, or no matter how bad this team has been, they've actually played Detroit close through the past 3 years. All right, there's really only been one blowout. Justin Fields beat them once, almost beat them a second time. We should have beat them last year on Thanksgiving due to the no timeout use debacle. And the second game, we kind of got blown out a little bit. But
last year,
play them well.
The last time Caleb Williams played Detroit, last year, he had 256 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I mean, and that was against Aaron Glenn defense. Obviously, they were hurt a little bit, but Lions defense still was very, very good. So we'll see.
We'll see. We will definitely see. All right, let's get to our key matchups for the game. So let's see what we got here. I went ahead and went with Darnell Wright versus Aiden Hutchinson. And why I have this as a key matchup is, first off, Aiden Hutchinson, as we know last year, was looking like the defensive player of the year before he had that horrific injury on his, I'm pretty sure, his knee. Darnell Wright, though, there were some question marks going into training camp. We heard about how the offensive line coach talked about him, saying there's definitely some things you want to see improved, and that's fair. But when you looked at the film and you saw how he graded out, and then you looked at the eye test, Darnell Wright played a pretty good game. I'm pretty sure he had the highest PFF grade on the Bears overall, right? So that's kind of one barometer. The second thing is when you look at his stats, 0 pressures, 0 hurries allowed. That's fantastic from your right tackle. Again, going against edges, we just talked about how great the Vikings defense was. Van Ginkel and Grenard had 23 combined sacks last year. So it's not like he was going against some scrubs. He held his own. And not only that, the eye test really played out. His only downfall in the game was his penalties, but I think those can get cleaned up. Seeing that he is playing well is fantastic. So if he can shut down Aiden Hutchinson, it's not like they really have a great defensive edge too on the other side. You shut him down, that's really going to give Caleb a lot of time in the pocket. So that's why I want to see how that kind of matchup plays out. Now let's get to yours, Dave. See what you had in your key matchups.
Yeah, I like everything you said there. We'll see how healthy Hutch is. If he's 100% back, will be interesting. I have Bears coaching staff versus Detroit's. Simple, Ben Johnson. We know the storylines here. I'm very curious to see who outplays who, because I think we're going to be able to know that by the end of this game. And so I think the Detroit Lions have a little bit more of a uphill battle, I would think, but that could be my Bears goggles there. But we'll see. We'll see what it looks like. I really would love to see Ben Johnson get this one. I think he wants it, of course, competitiveness that he is, or the competitor that he is. I think it's going to come down to some coaching adjustments, especially in the second half. You saw KOC last week against the Bears. They made some adjustments, and then even Brian Flores,
I was going to say Flores did too a lot.
Flores was remarkable.
He's playing more of like some vanilla defenses, vanilla for his terms, right? Still complex compared to some other defensive coordinators.
It was very similar, script, but it's like a rope-a-dope. What is that? That boxing term. Kind of, kind of get them tired a little bit, and then all of a sudden it was like, okay, here's 4. We're sending 4, we're sending 5, we're sending 6. We'll send 7. It was very, very exotic in that second half and relentless. So that's what I'm looking forward to in regards to those matchups. So
it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting because I think if you're looking at head coaches, advantage is Dan Campbell. It just is, right? He's been head coach for longer. But when you look at coordinators, I think the advantage is us, right? Because I'm going to count Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen, who have been coordinators for a long time, versus Detroit, who has new coordinators on both sides. So it'll be interesting to see what plays out more. So I'm sure that you're right. We'll have answers by the end of the game, win or loss, that will tell us who outplayed who. But let's get to the keys to the game. So I'm going to switch one of mine because I didn't realize it was the same as yours. And I actually have another one I'm going to go. But first one is dicing up man coverage. Pretty sure Detroit played like 49% man coverage, which is kind of in line to what their defense looked like last year. And because of this, they give up the most scramble yards per quarterback, or they're like leading the NFL in that. Because if you don't understand man coverage, when you have man coverage, typically your secondary and linebackers have their back turned to the quarterback because they're following whoever their target is. And because of that, if you don't have a QB spy, quarterbacks can run, see that everyone's looking downfield, and they take off. See it all the time. So I'd love to see Caleb do that against the man coverage. But statistics show that he hasn't been great against man coverage in his career in the NFL, which is actually interesting because typically that's the easiest one for young quarterbacks to exploit, but Caleb actually does better against zone. So I don't even know how to look at that. Second key to the game, limit penalties. Pretty concise and sweet. You got to be better. We can't have penalties that kill drives. We saw it too many times, or penalties that extend drives. There was 2 third down penalties against the Bears on defense where they would have forced one would have been a long field goal and the other one would have been a punt. They ended up converting to first downs. They went down the field and scored. This third one I'm going to change because I'm going to let you talk about it, Dave. The third one I'm going to actually do is, I think the main reason, which a lot of people aren't talking about it, but why the Bears lost the game is they were up 17-6, as we all know, in the fourth quarter. Good teams end the game by running the ball. You run down the clock, you tire out the defense, you give them less amount of time to have less possessions to then go down the field and score. The Bears could not do that. They averaged, I think, 3.1 yards per carry, which is super low. And overall, I don't think they even eclipsed 50 yards rushing. I think it was 61 yards, including Caleb's runs. But when you looked at DeAndre Swift and company, even DJ Moore, who had 3 carries for 8 yards or something like that. It was just not a good job overall. And as we know, Ben Johnson's offense thrives and lives off having the run first because it opens up play action, which was one of your keys to the game last week. So overall, I think it's very important that the run game, I think, is most important. You got to get that established early. That's then going to allow Caleb to do his magician plays that he does. And then we just got to limit the penalties on both sides of the ball. That's kind of an overall blanket statement, but we saw how that played out and definitely had a major impact on the Bears losing that game last week.
All good stuff. Yeah, you could have kept the golf one. But I like that third one.
No, I think it was good. I wanted you to talk on it though, because I think
it's always good to get pressure.
For sure.
I think I had it last week, and I'm going to try not have it every week, but getting pressure on the quarterback is so key, especially with some of these really, really good ones. Goff, he's not mobile. And I think if you can get pressure, it's easier. It's easier because he cannot move, but he gets that ball out quick, and he is pretty accurate. So, but getting pressure on Goff, hopefully Grady Jarrett can play, but I think that's huge. And then maintain that pressure, obviously, throughout the entirety of the game. I don't want it to drop off like last week, where really J.J. McCarthy was able to kind of dissect a little bit in that fourth quarter. So offense on the same page. This goes back to our beginning of the show about cadence, pre-snap penalties, and then most importantly, also routes. I think DJ Moore, Caleb Williams, the biggest talking point was that huge miss where he just kind of airmailed it towards the sideline. Would have been a touchdown. It wasn't. That route was more improvised from DJ Moore. He saw it that he was going to be wide open. He changed his route. Caleb Williams saw it and he tried to adjust last second, and that's why he kind of airmailed it. So some of the best analysts in the game said only about 2 quarterbacks in the league, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, can make that throw. We'll see. I wish they could have connected there, but just being on the same page, even on those improv broken plays, you see Rome and Caleb are usually, I feel like, in sync. DJ needs to get there. Some of these other guys need to get there. And of course, the pre-snap penalties. Accuracy. This is the biggest one. I know some of those misses you can chop to, just first game, jitters, nervousness, whatever it might be. I just think Caleb needs to be a little bit more, a lot more accurate at times. Screens as well. And then most importantly, I think the deep ball, that accuracy just has to get better over the season, and I'd love to see it in Detroit. So those are my keys.
No, I think those are all fair. That last one is what everybody loves to talk about, but I think that is a good point when you said the context about that play. Because I think Kurt Warner talked about it and someone else about the improvisation of that route by DJ, and everyone's taking that clip, and that's like, Caleb's never going to be able to throw a football again because of that. It was a big play, but I think adding in that context is very important. And it is, this is so corny, but this is what I was thinking of when you said DJ Moore. Caleb and Rome are like in sync. And I was like, DJ Moore and Caleb are like the Backstreet Boys. We need them to get more in sync. Sorry, that's for the 90s kids out there. You're old like me, but that's my little one there. Let's get to the bold takes that we have. Dave did not like that one. I didn't see any sign of emotion on that, but let's get to the bold takes here. Dave's the only one on top here. 1-0. I'm 0-1. Jack is also 0-1. Not that great, but there's a lot of season ahead of us, just like the Bears. I think we can see that change. So my bold take is Dio records a sack. Dio had a pretty good game last week. I think he had 3 or 4 pressures, led the team. He had a sack. I think he had another batted ball, something like that, but he applied a lot of pressure and had impact on the game. You may not think that's a bold take, but it kind of is, because this guy, statistically, he hasn't had a lot of sacks in his career per season. So if he ends up having 2 sacks within 2 games and back-to-back games where he's kind of applied that pressure, that $50 million deal looks more of like a steal. Well, maybe not a steal, but it's definitely worth what you paid him versus the other side of the coin, which we were both afraid of. And so I'm hoping to see that continue. All right, let's get to Dave. Dave, you're back, right? Oh, muted. Oh, he's still muted. Oh, no. That's all right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there it is. You're good.
It's really lag. I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
Am I lagging?
No. You didn't look like it, but I made a comment and you made literally no face. And I was like, well, Dave hated that one.
I can't.
So.
Yeah, I can't hear. I don't know what's going on. My
That's okay.
It's messed up.
That's
Okay,
all right.
so
Let's
yeah,
get to
I'm
your
1-0.
bold take, though. You are 1-0. Thank you for reminding me.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's
Sorry, I
get to your-
can't. It's very laggy. I can't even hear what you're saying. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Am I lagging?
No, you're not. You're not. I can hear you well. Oh, he's going to leave, which is totally fine. We'll give it a second. But let me actually go through some of these comments because I have not. You guys have been going crazy in the comments section. You guys have been actually fantastic. Yeah, I like this one. Plastic Rockets, we got Dio. Here, let's see this comment here. Santos missed a 50-yard field goal and can't kick the ball out the back of the end zone. So, yeah, people are definitely upset about that.
Maybe I'm back. No idea.
Okay. You sound back. I don't
know.
That comment. All right. It's all right.
Yeah.
Internet issues
1-0
happen all the time. Go
with
ahead.
my bold predictions.
Yes, let's get to that. Sorry, I was just filling the time with I was filling the space with some comments. But let's get to your bold predictions. You are 1-0. Both Jack and I missed ours. My bold take was Daya will get a sack. And yours is?
Yeah, Roma Dunze has over 100 yards. I think this is just going to be a big game from him. I'm just kind of trying to speak it into existence. Love to see those guys kind of go off, both Caleb and Rome. And I just think Rome is primed and ready. He's going to have a couple of these this year. I think Detroit would be a huge one, especially on the road.
Love it. I would love to see that too. He had a touchdown last game, maybe 60 yards overall. So it's definitely possible for sure. This defense is less formidable than Brian Flores' defense, so they have the opportunities to exploit it. Okay, we're going to get to our headlines. We'll have one final ad read, and then we'll end the game with score predictions or shout-outs like we always do, things like that. So let's get to the Monday headlines here. Fun. Ben Johnson, who? All right, that might tell you about what the score prediction may be, but I feel like Detroit may not be missing him as much as what they think. So I don't want to give it away, but it may not be as bad. After first week, I think all of us were thinking, hey, oh, poor Detroit. Look at your offense. They only scored 6 points. It had a late touchdown that didn't really matter. But you sure do miss Ben Johnson. Well, I don't feel like they're going to have that sentiment after playing us this week. I feel like, win or lose, they're going to score more points and they're going to feel better about this offense. Okay, Dave, are you back with me? Oh, my God. Y'all, please, someone's got to screenshot this. Look at Dave's face. This is hilarious. He is having the worst internet connection.
This is ridiculous. I'm trying to connect to a hotspot here.
No, you're good.
You sound like a robot to me, so I can't understand what you're saying.
You're back now. I'm going to send
this hotspot. Go ahead.
I'm gonna. There's a screenshot of you, and it's hilarious. I'm gonna send to you in the chat afterwards. You're gonna love it. But I'm glad you're back. Okay. So my hot take was not my hot take. My headline was that Detroit won't be missing Ben Johnson as much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now let's get to yours.
I've seen that. Yes. DEFCON 1. That is the highest DEFCON level. Means we're in serious shit.
Yep. Not great.
Wait, did we not do our predictions?
I thought we do predictions last. Oh, we do them first?
Score predictions first because the headlines don't make any sense.
Boom. Got it. I'll remember that for next time. There we go.
Anyways, you see the headlines. You kind of have an idea of what's coming now. Because I was like, wait, did I miss that?
No, that's fine.
But yeah,
always
I
flip
think
that up.
DEFCON 1, and we'll get to that as to why with our score predictions here.
And everyone give your score. We're going to do their last ad read here. Everyone during this time, send in your score predictions. We love seeing where you guys are at, and we'll share those at the end of the show. So let's get to it. All right. Before we close out the show, I got to tell you about some awesome stuff that we have cooked up on the BFRstore.com. As you can see here, we have hats, hoodies, mugs, stickers, a whole bunch of fire stuff. And we're always working on new creative designs, maybe jerseys coming. Who knows? But you can check it all out at thebfrstore.com. All the proceeds from the merch store just goes back right into the show. And plus, we want to give you fire stuff because we want to look fly all the time. And we want y'all to look fly as well. So if you want to support the BFR show, go to thebfrstore.com. We appreciate all the love and support. Now let's get back to the show. All right. Love it.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know if people still say fly, but that's what I got in the ad read. So I appreciate it. You can go to the BFRstore.com. We got a bunch of great stuff on there as well. Okay. Let's get to what everybody's been waiting for. Hopefully, you guys dropped all your score predictions in here. We're going to get to ours right here. And I'm going to kick it off. Score predictions with my little drum roll 23-17. I have the Lions beating the Bears, but it is a closer game than what you would expect. That's why the odds 6.5. I was like, if you're going to take one, I'd probably take the spread, but I am never betting on a Bears game. They already give me enough stress and anxiety. But if you were to, that's the one I would do. So that is my score prediction. Now, Dave, you ready for yours? Let's get to it. Let's see what he's got.
Yep, very similar. 2017, Detroit. I'm not picking the Bears to win until they just win a game this year. So every single week, I will pick the Bears to lose until they win.
Yeah,
Simple.
it's kind of like that. We need kind of we've been burnt already. You know what I mean?
Oh, you got to prove it to me. It's simple as that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get any. There's no more detail, no more nuance. Just win a freaking game, and maybe I'll have some confidence in you. So
I think that's
simple.
fair. I think we're both in that same boat. Okay, so to end out the show, we're gonna go through. We're gonna give our shout outs. We're going to show some of the score predictions, like we always do. Shout out to our Patreons as well. Yada yada. Answer any final questions if there are some in there. But let's get through it here. So first off, let's go to the people that left the hashtag. So we got Cody in here with the hashtag OG. Fuck Green Bay. Love it, Cody. We got Tito in here, Patreon member as well. Hashtag OG. Shout out to you, Tito. Another Patreon member, also with great voicemails. Gage with the hashtag OG, hashtag Bears over everybody. We got D-Taj on Twitter here with the hashtag OG. Have you guys talked about the kicker discourse yet? About in every episode we talk about the kicker discourse. But yeah, we could definitely take an improvement, and it definitely cost us last game. We got hashtag OG Kyler in here says, I still believe in Caleb. It was just one game with the rookie head coach, and we're going to smack the Lions tomorrow. Bear down. I do love that. Let me make sure if there's any more in here, and then we'll get to the predictions. Cool. All right, let's do it. So let's get to some of these score predictions here. We got Phil with the 27-21 Bears. Love that. Daryl Davis, 27-20 Bears. Okay. Mark Stewart on Facebook with a 31 to Lions 27. Okay. Bears fan, 40 on YouTube, 41-17 Bears. D-Taj, so he was on Twitter and YouTube. Thank you for hopping over to YouTube, but he said 17-20 Bears. Vizzo Joe, who's an OG, said Bears 24, Lions 17. Gage, Patreon, said Bears win 24-21. Santos kicking game-winning field goal to bounce back after last week. Oh, my God. My heart will palpitate through my chest if that's the case. Kyler, obviously OG, with 20-17 Bears. Plastic Rockets, who's also an OG, 30-21 Bears. Isaiah Ott, Bears 32, Lions 0. Good luck with that one, but thank you for the prediction here, Isaiah. And then Bears fan 40. Oh, doing a Bills one. Bills 51, busting in the Jets 3. Jeez. Okay. Well, nice. We do have that OG as well. Appreciate that. If you get any more OGs, go ahead and throw them in there. But Dave, how do you feel? I think every single one of those. How did the Bears win?
No, nothing's changed.
We'll take it.
Nothing's changed for me. I hope they do, but until they actually do it, no faith right now.
No, that is definitely fair. I think we're in that same boat. We're not being negative. We're just trying to be realistic as possible. We do appreciate, though, all the score predictions that you guys threw in. And obviously, you shout outs for the OGs and the new face gangs that come through here. But before we head out in the show, we got to give a shout out to our Patreon members, as we always do. And again, you can join the Patreon. You can join it for free. We drop our episodes in there. We drop our monthly calendars. For the number one show for the fans, by the fans, the BFR podcast. Again, the number one show for the fans, by the fans, the BFR podcast. And the Patreon's got tons of stuff in there, and we keep adding value each week. We love building up this community for all of y'all. But first off, we got to give a shout out to our Hall of Fame Grizzly members. We got Michael Gage, who's on right now. We got Phil, who obviously sent a voicemail as well. You're on right now. Michael Berry, Thomas Whitty, Tito. I saw you give a shout out in here, and then Dave, who I think was also in here. So shout out to all of our Hall of Fame Grizzly members. Y'all are fucking awesome. And let's get to our Patreon rookie Grizzlies, who are awesome as well. Alex, Chris, Jason, and then Caleb, who sent in the voicemail. Shout out to all of y'all. Y'all are fantastic. Again, this show is nothing without y'all, without the Patreon members, without the viewers who decide to watch us on an early Saturday morning. We want to put the fans focus, because Dave and I and Jack, we're fans like y'all. We go through the highs, the lows, just like y'all. So we want to make sure that we put you guys as the front and forward of this podcast because, again, for the last time, it is the number one show for the fans, by the fans, Bears Film Room podcast. We appreciate y'all joining on this Saturday morning for the Detroit versus Bears preview. Cool. Well, that's it on my end. Dave, you got anything else?
Nope. We'll see you after the game on Sunday. And hopefully it's on better terms. But enjoy your guys' Saturday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bear down.
Peace.